This is African football. I'm still with the two gentlemen, Velile and Timothy. Just let's go through our main discussions for tonight. Let's start with the issue that has been a problem over the years pertaining African footballers when they go to Europe. Sometimes even happening on our continent, that is racism. We heard Yaya Toure saying that not much is being done to combat this crime of racism. We are calling it a crime now because it's a really serious issue, Velile. We've seen players' bananas being thrown. We've seen really all kinds of insults and abuses leveled against especially African players. When they play in Europe, we saw the World Cup was hosted in Russia, a nation known for this kind of behavior when it comes to racism. You know, many players leaving that country. What could be done to try to combat this? I mean, that's the cry of Yaya Toure. Is actually blaming or saying that FIFA and UEFA, who are, I mean, the most powerful, if you talk about FIFA, they are the motherboard of football. UEFA, where these things are happening, the most powerful, of course, confederations that we have. Is it right, Velile, to bring it up again? Is it a lost cause? Is there nothing that could be done? We must just accept that it's part of life.
I think I agree with him. I've been monitoring what has also been happening the past few days in the Italian Serie A.
Yeah, there's another one. Yes,
yes. And for me, I seriously don't think FIFA and UEFA are prioritizing this matter. Because remember, there was even a possibility of deducting points.
Yeah.
If matters of this nature continue to occur. But this thing is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
I was following the events of the game between Cagliari and Juventus.
Yeah.
Juventus.
And with what they did to that young man there.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm even following up on the statements that are made by his teammate, Bonucci, Ronaldo. The statements that, no, this boy is the one who provoked this whole thing.
Unbelievable.
So I just don't understand. I don't understand. In fact, African footballers cannot continue to keep quiet about this. And it's, to an extent, I feel that CAF is also failing us.
They're too quiet.
They haven't said anything. And these are their players. They serve in the FIFA Council. What are they advancing there? So I just feel that the football leadership, in particular, is failing the players.
Letting us down. Tim, for me, what do you think? I mean, we can look at so many incidences. I mean, the list is endless. But now let's look at the solution. What would be the solution if you are sitting in that FIFA Council? What would you say that this is what we need to do to tackle once and for all? For
me, racism is a crime against humanity, and it's very unbelievable when you hear Ronaldo Bonucci, a teammate of this young man, Keane, criticizing him for celebrating in front of the opposition fans simply because they were chanting monkey, chants against him. It's very
and
unbelievable.
This is Ronaldo, because out of all players, he does that week in, week out.
Ronaldo now is condoning the behavior of these uncouth fans. Is siding with them. It's unbelievable.
Instead of siding with his own team.
And when we talk about the solutions, the so-called fines cannot work, and they have failed before. Playing games behind stadium, it won't work because it won't impact the fans. I think we need to deduct points. That's one. 2,
point deductions.
And teams should be relegated. I think that will send a serious signal because the fans are, they are aligned to these clubs and they are cheering their teams to be able to qualify for the Champions League, to be able to win the cup. So if the penalty is to deduct points and be relegated to the lower division, I think that will send a stronger message. Juventus was relegated one time because of the bribery allegation.
Yeah, it was.
And it served the purpose.
Yeah.
The Italian league was able to pick and take note that, it's not permissible to bribe and fix matches. And I think for the same cause of racism, which is a crime against humanity,
I think racism is worse.
Can be relegated,
but they're not seeing it in that way. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
And I think there are certain teams, Velile, that UEFA wouldn't want to touch. Because if you look at these big sides, you mentioned Juventus, you mentioned all these top sides in Europe, where now these things happen against them. Would you see a Barcelona being relegated? I think that is the fear that I'm seeing from football authorities, that if we go the route of point deductions, relegation, remember there's just too much money in European football at the moment, where you've got these teams now actually being sanctioned severely and maybe affecting their log standing. And of course, there's money, there's sponsorship and so. Yeah. But yes, there's an example of Italy, Juventus, that went down and came back. But I think I agree with Tim that we might need, if UEFA, FIFA might need to look at relegation, point deduction, but I think there's a fear from the football authorities.
But I also think at the same time, no amount of money can be equated to humanity.
No, I mean, the way we are sitting, we agree with that. But we know that football is so much commercialized these days.
No. Yes. We know that. But also, there are other platforms through the UN Human Rights Council, where FIFPro.
Yes.
FIFPro now, maybe FIFPro, there's a need to fight this in a different way. Yeah. I know that in England they've got a campaign, Kick It Out.
Yes.
We saw after the recent international break what happened to Raheem Sterling.
Yes. Yes. It's another example.
Exactly. Yes. So I think FIFPro now, because you see the football mafia, Kef and them, and maybe it's easy.
The football cartel.
Maybe it becomes difficult for them because they are there inside.
But sometimes.
But now, when you've got, in this case in South Africa, we've got the Players Union, the South African Players Union. You've got FIFPro at international level. Maybe bodies like FIFPro need to come up with like-minded bodies to fight this thing and go outside the footballing structures. Because look, I don't see the Human Rights Council, the UN Human Rights Council, siding with FIFA on this. I don't.
For me, it has always, for me, my biggest challenge has been always the composition of the representative in these bodies. You're talking about FIFPro. Do we have leaders who have got the integrity and the stature to try and take it up?
Because talk about it's a good point. It's a good point that you're mentioning. But look what Vele said as well. We've got our own CAF that is for African. It's for African. They would go to the FIFA Council. We've got seats in the FIFA Council. Yeah. We've got Africans that are sitting there.
When was the last time the issue of racism was even on the agenda?
Even one thing to say that we are not happy as African, that our players will be subjected to such kind of racial abuses. You see, anyway, guys, you know what? We can talk the whole day. But I think what I like is that our own body, which is CAF, I think has been very silent for a long time. And as well, I think they need to look strongly at the issue of point deductions as sanctions. Okay, get back to this region of COSAFA that has produced 5 teams to go to AFCON 2019. We were all on our edges when Bafana was playing, when the Warriors were playing. Uganda never had those challenges. Uganda had already qualified. I don't know whether they donated those points to Tanzania. It's a topic for another day. But Tanzania going through. But gentlemen, we've got this COSAFA region that we've always given credit to when it comes to these 5 nations that have qualified for AFCON 2019 in Egypt. But now, my country, Zimbabwe, withdrew. And now, verily, we've got a problem here. What is going to happen now?
Well, tomorrow is the D-Day.
Okay.
Tomorrow, the Zimbabwean Football Association, ZIFA, will be appearing in front of the COSAFA DC.
Don't kill us, please. Don't kill us.
Because what is confusing is that when Mr. Chiangwa was the president, ZIFA was still okay to host the tournament. And then came the new regime. Okay, they're still
What
okay.
are you implying?
But then again, now the new minister, who also happens to Kirst Coventry, she said no, this was short notice, which is something I really don't understand, because the issue of Zimbabwe hosting the next AFCON for COSAFA was something that was decided long time ago, last year already. You know, so
maybe she wanted 2 years in advance to prepare.
And it's surprising because
so you don't buy the story that is short notice.
Yeah, no. Because you see, this thing just needs a political will. So I understand that after the minister had said the country is not ready, I understand that ZIFA had said no, okay, even without the government guarantees and the government support,
we would be able to go ahead.
Yes.
And host the COSAFA tournament.
And host the COSAFA tournament.
Yeah.
But then they come back again, they backtrack on what they had said, you know? And I feel that, look, especially this being a month before the tournament, you know? So I think the regional body is within its rights here to discipline the member.
Okay.
I've read, in fact, that if this case goes against them tomorrow, also provided maybe they don't change their minds before the DC sits tomorrow, they could be suspended from the region for 2 years.
Oh, that would be a massive blow for Zimbabwe.
It will be a massive blow for Zimbabwe.
If you look at the gains, you look at we've won it almost. I mean, we record time winners.
Yes.
Tim, okay, we just need to move. But I want you to tell me now, what do you think should happen? Who do you think would be able to raise their hands up and say, look, we want to host this tournament? Because at the moment, maybe countries are waiting for this disciplinary, hearing that is going to happen tomorrow. Look, which country do you think is stepping?
What is happening right now in COSAFA is what I call the administrative cancer that sweeps across the African continent. What is happening, I think, is ZIFA trying to get across Philip Chiangwa, who is, the former head of state. But
so there's this politics around
it's politics playing around it. But I think since COSAFA has taken a stand that they need to face the DC, maybe they will be able to pick and understand that, listen, what we're doing, we should do what is good for the country. Normally, we always look at South Africa trying to always step in on short notice to try and rescue the area. They have always done that. And I truly believe that, given the fact that Bafana has qualified for the AFCON, and this can be a great tournament for preparation for all, for the record 5 countries that have qualified in the region. I think if South Africa do agree and see sense to it, I think it will be a great opportunity for preparation for AFCON for the countries in this region.
I would give it to Zambia. You're not going to AFCON. There's your AFCON, mini AFCON. Bring those 5 teams, bring them there to Lusaka, host this tournament.
And in fact,
Zambia, I think they can. For me, I'll put my man on Zambia.
I'll agree with you.
Yes.
Because Zambia is not going to the AFCON.
Yes.
And they're going to miss out on competitive football.
Yeah.
And you will recall now that COSAFA games are not just any games.
Yeah.
They've got the international A-friendly status in terms of recognition for the rankings at FIFA. So it means that, if they want to maintain a good spot in the rankings, they can use that through this tournament.
Yes.
And if you saw the manner in which Zambia dispatched Namibia in the last qualifier.
Yes. You wouldn't want that team not to be active, eh?
Yeah. So
I hope he's listening, this gentleman. The president, Andrew Kamanga. There's the call.
Yes.
Bring the COSAFA to Zambia.
Yes.
This is African football. We've said bring COSAFA to Zambia.
Because also, I see almost all the 5 countries coming from the region that have qualified taking part in that tournament.
They will.
And
highly competitive.
And it's this is a tournament where you can also have the COSAFA hierarchy also maybe inviting 2 or 3 more.
Uganda is there.
Team.
Yes. Qualified.
Yes.
Guests. We've always done that.
You bring in DRC.
Yes.
To this competition, and maybe possibly or even one North African country
You can bring them.
Exactly.
And
as guests.
They would accept that invitation.
You would have a bumper tournament. There will be excitement.
I wish we were in that meeting tomorrow.
It will be an easy tournament to sell.
All right, guys, let's move on. We've given the solution to COSAFA. I hope they are listening. All right, gentlemen, let's move now to the West. West. In particular, Ghana. Ghana football. Finally, Timothy, there's football in Ghana. Tell us more.
Finally, after 10 months of lack of football,
yes. Imagine such a nation with that history.
The normalization.
10 months without football.
Yes, it's the administrative cancer that swept across the continent that landed in Ghana, affecting the FA president Tachi, and whatever befell him, led to the creation of the normalization committee. Mm-hmm. So after 10 months of no activity, eventually there was, a kick of the ball in that country. Mm-hmm. Yes, there was sort of a media blackout because the media personalities did claim that they were informed on short notice, and the resources that were being allocated to them could not permit them to broadcast some of those games. All in all, the fact that the ball was kicked, there is football in for the league and the lower leagues taking shape. I think we give credit to the normalization committee, and we hope that this will be the beginning of a greater league in Ghana.
Velile, do you have any hope with Ghana local football that things will turn up? Normalization committee extended again. Now here's a competition that they've started. There was a little bit of standoff between the Premier League clubs because it was supposed to start in January. It never happened. It was on and off. Finally, it kicks off. Do you see any hope? Any light at the end of this very dark Ghanaian tunnel?
Hey, it's a challenge. When you have a normalization committee and you still need another normalization committee. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. Normalizing the other normalizing. Normalizing.
So, because for me, there you need just one term. Put everything back and then it means that we've got serious problems. We can go through this second term of the other normalization committee, and we'll have another one.
Changes in the new people are coming in. We don't see any election date in sight. I mean, the mandate for the normalization committee was to make sure they prepare for the election. But now they are busy with other things. They are preparing competitions. I don't understand. These people looks like they want more than what they're getting right now.
There's the issue of FIFA Forward program.
Yes.
Where the FAs have to apply for funding to FIFA. And if you have a normalization committee, you cannot apply.
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
So it means that now the GFA is going to miss out on 2 cycles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are missing out on 2 cycles of applying for that funding, because you apply for that funding annually. Now they're going to miss out on 2 cycles.
It's not surprising. It's not surprising what is happening in Ghana.
And this is what? 4 million USD that they could be losing out from.
Definitely.
And money that's there to be applied for at FIFA, and you improve your football.
Well, gentlemen, we can only wish Ghanaian football all the best. But let's move on. We are still on This is African Football. I'm with Velile Mnyandu and also Timothy Batabaire. There's this question, again, a debate. In football, we love these debates. We love the comparisons, Timothy. Now, looking at the 2 coaches that have done very well on the continent, that is South African Sundowns coach, Pitso Mosimane. You talk of DRC coach and also AS Vita coach. Doubles up. Flore Ibenge. What do you think of these 2 gentlemen? Who is the better coach? Is it a fair question?
It's not a fair question.
Why?
And I would like to tell you, the terrain is different. There is
achievements. Achievements. Who has achieved better than the other?
For me, I can tell you that
one has won. One has not won.
So it must be an easy comparison.
No, it's not as easy as you can think. It's just like coaching Manchester United and coaching, let me say, Leicester City to the championship.
Okay, tell me about the 2 coaches. And then Flore Ibenge and Pitso Mosimane.
So I think for me, these are 2 passionate coaches that have been they have dedicated their life to football. And they have really, under all circumstances, we're talking about Ibenge, who is in DRC Congo, against all odds, trying to get this SC Vita team to perform beyond expectations, and they've gone being appointed to lead the national side. And then we have got Pitso Mtsimane with all resources at his disposal, coaching Sundowns, getting the cream of the cream, and leading them to the CAF
2016, he won the CAF Champions League.
Exactly.
Ibenge, he's been at the Nations Cup, doing very well, qualifying the team, which Pitso hasn't done. Ibenge hasn't won the Champions League. Yeah. So who's the better coach? So, really, help Timothy. He's on the fence.
I think I will answer you the day they are coaching in the same league.
Oh, yeah. So you really can't compare them because they are coaching in different leagues.
Yes,
but they are meeting in the Champions League. They meet in the Champions League.
Because also when they met in the Champions League,
yes,
Pitso Mtsimane had the better of
Ibenge.
Yes.
Okay. But but okay. Ibenge had more success with the national team than Pitso had. Can we agree on that?
No. Granted,
yes, we can agree on that.
Qualify.
Yes, I think he went on to the.
He got a bronze medal.
Third place.
He got a bronze medal in Guinea, in Equatorial Guinea.
Correct.
In 2015.
Yes.
And look, he's been multitasking.
Yes.
Both with Vita and also with the Leopards. On the other side.
Yeah.
And also when you look at the profile of Vita. Mm-hmm. And also you look at how he gets to transform that team as well.
Yes.
How they get to have those players. But again, if we were to compare them, let's compare them when they're in the same league. How they compete in that league. Because look, for a very long time, Ibenge has been punching above his weight. Even where he's campaigning against a well-funded, well-bankrolled Mazembe team of Moiso Katumbi. So he's done very well with Vita. But if we were to compare him to Pitso, let's get them in the same league.
Same league.
And I'm sure.
Club owners have
And I'm sure.
One day you coach South Africa, PSO.
We're not very far.
We're not very far. Ibenge, watch this space.
Mark my words.
Watch this space. Okay, gentlemen.
You will be welcome.
Let's move on. Quickly, Timothy Patel linked to Manchester United. Your thoughts on that? What do you think of this player? Is he that great? Underrated, overrated?
He has got a very educated right foot. Look no any further than him. He has come, he has put his hand up. Right now he's always a regular in the Atletico Madrid team.
He might replace Pogba at Manchester United.
You can't compare the two. You can't compare the two. You have got this young man who is, a box-to-box kind of player. But for me, it is his shot in his right foot that is tremendous. To see a player taking those long range shots and finding the back of the net.
Yes.
I think that's a great addition. I think it is reminiscent of the likes of.
It would do him well to go to Manchester United.
I think
playing at Atletico in terms of his profile, will it increase his profile?
Definitely to increase his profile, but the question will he be consistently playing like he's playing in Atletico Madrid? Because those are crucial points to consider as a player when you're making those transfers. You don't need to leave, where you're getting game time, playing in the Champions League, week in, week out, you're playing to go to Manchester United, where you're not sure whether Pogba is going to go to Barcelona or anything else, and you're going to compete with him.
All right. Veli, let's move on quickly now on the issue of, we saw the NFF Awards. We witnessed them, glamorous, occasion. Ahmad Musa wins Nigerian Player of the Year. Does he deserve it in ahead of the likes of Iwobi, Ighalo? Your thoughts on that? Ahmad Musa. Does he deserve to be the best Nigerian player?
Yeah. This one, I would go for Ighalo.
Why?
Ighalo is not only finishing as the top goal scorer in this AFCON qualifiers,
in the qualifiers
overall, with 7 goals, but also if you look at his contribution to this Nigerian team, I know that we're coming from the World Cup year.
Yes,
which would influence some of the decisions.
Yeah.
That they
World Cup year.
Yes.
He was a better player in the World Cup than Ighalo. They wanted to kill Ighalo, the Nigerians. This man could have died.
But
with that miss against Argentina. I mean, they're looking at that. But overall,
I think
I agree with you that
overall,
I think Ighalo has had even the qualifiers of the World Cup. He was the top marksman.
He was the top marksman.
He just froze in the World Cup. But I think
but then he didn't freeze. Actually, let me tell you, he was the reason the likes of Musa scored goals because
the attention was on him.
Because the attention was on him.
Was a danger man.
He was holding on to the ball, driving defenders off.
You guys love Ighalo.
Of Musa. So
you
for me,
you love Ighalo. Talking about Ighalo, he says he turned down an offer to go to Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona. Is there any truth into that?
Well, he says it.
Can we believe it?
Who are we? I think.
He says you could have.
For his reasons.
Barcelona's just
for the reasons that he gave. I think I agree with him because they wanted him for 6 months.
Yeah.
And for him,
and they went for their second option.
He's in the Chinese league. He's scoring the goals, and his account is very fat. And you are saying Barcelona because of prestige purposes. So he chose for the betterment of his welfare than the prestige. So as a player, I think he made the right call.
Right call, that is Ighalo. Talking about the Super Eagles, the Warriors, we've qualified for the second success. And of course, everyone wants to play us. Everyone is looking to play the Warriors. And the Super Eagles come knocking on the door. They say we are looking for a very competitive team, a team that is going to test us. There we are. They want to play us, the Super Eagles.
Look, the mighty Warriors.
The mighty Warriors.
Yeah.
They've been called by the Super Eagles. They want to give us 3 weeks.
No, look, for me, I think Zimbabwe, it ranks amongst the top 5 teams for me today in Africa in terms of a national team that is playing a good brand of football.
Yes.
If you want a team that is going to test you offensively, especially to test your defense, they are the right team.
You've got a team that goes forward.
That goes forward.
Yes, that wouldn't just sit back.
Yes.
They'll
so
come at you.
Yes, because you see, when you're preparing for a competition like the AFCON, especially the expanded AFCON, there's type of opposition that you don't know.
They're going to emerge.
Which angle are they going to be coming from? So you need to be prepared for any eventuality.
All right. I'm very excited. Very excited.
Yeah. So I feel that this is the right approach
for Nigeria.
Yes,
I think
but
good for both sides.
Before confirming friendlies, I would wait until next Friday.
For me,
I think for me it's a smart move from Nigeria. Remember, Nigeria, there's nothing other than winning the championship that makes sense to them. So I think playing against a Southern Region team, that is the Mighty Warriors, I think that is very key. It's not surprising that they're investing into hosting the Zimbabwe national team to be able to test them and see and cope. Because they know Bafana is also there, and Bafana beat them. So they are mindful of the fact that they may find one of the Southern Region teams. I think that's the reason.
And they also know that it's going to be cheaper to host the Zim Warriors.
No, they have to pay, gentlemen. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Let's talk South African. Let's talk South Africa, the PSL. Gentlemen, Kaizer Chiefs, winning the Nedbank Cup, should it be a priority for Chiefs so that they can qualify for the Confederations Cup? Velile. There is Kaizer Chiefs. Are they going to win the Nedbank?
I think there's still a good chance.
They've got a good chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been listening to fans of Orlando Pirates and Sundowns. You won't believe it, but they're saying they would rather see Kaizer Chiefs winning this competition.
Why?
Because they say they want to see a stronger team representing South Africa.
Oh, in the Confederations
in the CAF Confed.
That's good if you're thinking like that.
Yeah. Because you see, people will say Kaizer Chiefs previously has not been taking this CAF Interclub competitions seriously. Yeah. But if you saw this year, the way they were going all out, and not a single game where Kaizer Chiefs was fielding a second string side. Which is that it's unfortunate that they met a stronger opponent and a team that is very experienced in at
the
this
Zambian
level.
team.
In Zesco, you know.
Zesco, yes.
Yeah, in Zesco. And you saw even in the manner in which Zesco dispatched them.
So you think they took it serious? They were just unfortunate.
No, they took it serious,
they took it
but they were not strong enough.
Yes,
and they lacked
new
the
coach
experience.
coming in
I think
as well.
for me, the appointment of Ernest
the new
Middlesbrough,
coach
I
just
think
coming
that's a great
in the middle of those
It's a great turning point. He's a coach that has got an eye for talent. He prefers, giving an opportunity to youngsters, and we can see through what he's trying to do to build a team for the future.
But Steve was giving chance.
It's not about being given a chance.
But Timothy, what has Middlesbrough achieved?
No, this is what I want to tell you. It's very quick to say
what has he achieved.
When Middlesbrough took over, Kaizer Chiefs could stand to be fighting relegation.
Fighting relegation?
Yes.
No, fighting relegation.
No. Why not?
When was Kaizer Chiefs fighting relegation?
Let me tell you.
No. We need to give credit where it's due.
When was Kaizer Chiefs fighting relegation?
Ernest Middlesbrough has stabilized the ship.
Yes, the shape position on the
tell you, if you look, the mentality.
Timothy needs to be corrected here.
Yeah, please do.
Head Chiefs picked up points. Against Sundowns, against Orlando Pirates,
yes,
against Polokwane City, against Cape Town City.
Yes,
Chiefs would be challenging for the league title today. And these are the games. These games I'm talking about are games where Middlesbrough was already here. Granted, Middlesbrough will tell you that the Howlers that were committed.
Another coach will say my strikers missed the chance.
The Howlers that were committed by Freeze against Sundowns and against Cape Town City, Akpay against
we know.
But then again, I don't want to entertain this one of relegation because Middlesbrough didn't find this team in the relegation
because he wasn't signed to save the team from relegation. He was signed. He was appointed to win the league.
The point I'm driving home was at the point when he was signed, Chiefs was not performing as expected, and when he comes on board, he stabilizes the team. Now, what is very interesting about Ernest Middlesbrough, what he's doing with Kaizer Chiefs is that he's breeding the youngsters with the senior players, but mindful to be very competitive. And for me, that is very key. You need to psych your players to be competitive, even when they think if mathematically possible to win the league, they need to believe that they can. And I'm sure next season
that's the topic for another day.
They played a very good and exciting game against Cape Town City. But I can tell you right now, come back to me in September, October next year, next season.
Okay, watch the space again. All right, gentlemen, we've run out of time. Let's just quickly wrap up with the CAF fixtures. Velile, Sundowns. Yes, we know who they were drawn against. Our Ackley, they are going to play them. I think it's first at home, isn't it?
Yes.
So how do you see this one? What are the chances of Mamelodi Sundowns? Are you hopeful that Pizzo, we've just spoken about him, that this time around you get one over this team? And that has been a problem to South African football.
Look, Pizzo, if you look in the history of him in this competition, Pizzo has had good results against North African teams. You will recall that the season Sundowns won the CAF Champions League title, he had beaten Zamalek in Egypt. And also dealt with them properly in the final, beating them 3-0 here at home in the first leg. And the good thing with this fixture against Al Ahly is that at first it was put at 9 p.m. and then it was at 6 p.m. But now Sundowns finally got the time that they were looking for, 3 p.m.
Afternoon game.
Yes.
Home advantage. So you think that will work well for Sundowns?
I think Sundowns, this is the advantage that they have to exploit this weekend. because it works perfectly. And remember, Al Ahly, they were just playing yesterday. Against Al Ittihad, and
they're traveling. And they might have played their second string side.
They
might have played the second string team.
And also Yeah, there were a lot of changes compared to the team that played against Zamalek over the weekend.
But it's a Sundowns that needs to win this game. They can't afford to draw this game.
That's why
Sundowns
Pito after their game against Pirates on Monday, he said by the time they go back, I saw now the game was supposed to be played at Bouh El Arab Stadium, the return leg. Yeah, it looks like now it will be played at the Suez Canal. And Pito, he knows this very well, especially at this stage. He says he needs to take a 2-goal lead.
Two-goal lead.
A 2-goal lead.
And that's without conceding.
Yes.
Look, even if you concede, but at least have a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, you know what?
It doesn't matter. 4-2.
What
can be 5-3.
What is key is to make sure these are very experienced teams, and you know, in a team that won the CAF Champions League for Sundowns, we are talking about the likes of, you know, Kamabiri and those are missing right now.
Correct.
And at this moment in time,
it's a new team.
We are having a new team. They're trying to build, getting the combinations to find the back of the net that seems to be, lacking at this moment in time. Yes, they have got the capability to hold, the presence of Dennis Onyango and the back four. They're trying to, to withstand the pressure. But if you're going, the game against Orlando Pirates, it's very important that they're not allowed to be pinned back. They need to hold on to the ball more to try and frustrate the Egyptians. And, they have to psyche the players to know that they're going to play the time, wasting time. So they shouldn't fall for that tactic and get frustrated and complain about it. It's very important that they play the conditions.
All those antics.
Yeah.
Now, Tim, if Sundowns has to go past Al Ahly, do you think they'll go all the way, looking at the other teams that are still remaining in this competition?
I think the biggest hurdle is
that this one?
Exactly. This is very key.
If you look at the likes of TP Mazembe still remaining, you look at Wydad Casablanca, Horoya, you look at Simba Stars. This is the big one.
If you take out Al Hilal, then you'll be in the finals. Yes.
I think for me, the serious hurdle there would be Esperance, because Esperance I've seen Esperance. Remember, there's been a short turnaround between last year's, because this is a transitional season of the CAF Champions League.
Because they wanted to start.
Yes. And if you look at how strong some teams, Esperance is still the same team that they were last year.
Defending champions.
The defending champions. Yes.
No, we saw them.
I know you'll say they lost to Raja.
No. Even that game, you could see that what a strong side they are.
Yes.
Against Raja.
Yeah. So, yes, Sundowns, because you know that Sundowns, if they go past Al Ahly, and I feel that this is a big chance for Sundowns. They can go past this Al Ahly team. Because then they have to meet the winner of Horoya and Wydad. And remember, they played against
another Casablanca again. Possibly,
but the good thing there will be that Sundowns in the semi-finals, if they go through, they are guaranteed a second leg.
Their second leg, at home.
At home. Yeah. But if they make it to the final, the first leg, the second leg will be away.
Oh, okay, gentlemen. We can go on and on and on and on. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your input. You are the experts of African football. We only wish here Sundowns that they do well for Southern Africa. Things are happening in Southern Africa. 5 teams that have qualified.
Forget about the points deduction that are happening in South Africa. They were found guilty.
Sundowns.
Which for me is not a problem.
Losing only 1 point.
No. But which for me is not a problem to find them guilty. Elasto, you're a football man.
Yes.
And besides being a legend of the game, you are an administrator as well.
Yes.
You know very well that you cannot take someone from the stands who's not in the team sheet and put him in the team. Can you do that?
For such a team like Sundowns?
Can you do that?
No, you can't.
But
definitely.
Where I have a problem is when you wait for 7 months to rule on that.
Yeah, look, I think if you look at the cases at PSL and all those things, we saw as well when the Pirates fans, they went and vandalized
the one that waited for a whole year.
So the timing, I think, is something that the PSL need to look at, because sometimes that judgment, that ruling comes at a critical stage where now, it seems as if somebody was waiting to see how other results was playing out. So I think a lot needs to be done in that area.
I think it was very important, being a first case in point to because it's going to go a long way to set a precedent. And I think that this judgment is very crucial to set a precedent so that this can be a landmark decision. And since Sundowns has lost, I'm sure maybe they will appeal. They'll try to find something to appeal. We don't know. For now, yes, they have been found guilty, but there's room for them to appeal. So let's wait. It is still unfolding.
Let's wait. Still unfolding. Thank you once again, Jen. I know you guys can talk football the whole night, but we've come to the end of the show. We hope that you who's listening at home, you join us again, same time, same place. This is African Football. Thank you, Velile. Thank you, Timothy.
Welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.